In my last video we talked about the A and B story of a story, but now we want to talk about the heart of every story, and that is the relationship between character and their world. Many of you would be probably shocked that the heart of a story is the relationship between characters and their world, and not the crazy power-ups and super interesting attacks, as well as the overpoweredness of a character, or who is best girl in this 2D animated harem anime. A good author would know that a character will always be changing the world around him with the help of his wishes, goals and beliefs that are formed by the world around him, as well as the people around him, who are also changed by the world around them, as well as the characters around them. As you can see, it's an endless circle. A good author would also know that the story will fail when he has a flawed and badly written story, even when he has the well thought out character, since the author can rely that the development and past of the character are seen as believable when it happened in a badly written world. And a badly written character can't live in a well written and thought out world, since it would undermine the well thought out world of why the character is so badly written. You don't believe me? Well, let's take an example. For example, many isekais have badly written worlds, since all of them are based around RPGs or JRPGs, where every town is just a farm town and every noble and demon are just evil. This ensures that the hero in the story can't have any real moral dilemmas, can't have any real interesting stories, or tell an interesting moral or lesson, since the story is so cut and dry that everyone has already heard about it over and over again. The same can be seen by Undertale AUs. We have the same world, the ruins, Snowdin, Waterfall, the core and the Judgment Hall. Some nerds will say that in many AUs these locations have changed into the poisoned waterfall, the even destroyed ruins, the deadly Snowdin, or the destroyed kingdom or something like that. And sure, they look different, but they still act the same as the normal location in the original Undertale, making them nothing but simple reskins of the normal Undertale location. And since none of the Undertale fans actually played the game, they only rely on the fandom canon facts, meaning that none of them actually know what the history behind all of these locations are, like Snowdin being the place where the ruin door is and where a human most likely will come out, meaning that there need to be many guards to protect the town. They also forget that the ruins are full of puzzle and are basically the reminder of an old civilization, and it's the only way to get into the underground as a human. How would monsterkind react if they knew this beside Toriel? Or how would another character react to this situation? This would also undermine the character who is seen as the smartest character in the world, since we all would ask ourselves following question: why isn't the world more futuristic? And why is a side character B still suffering from disease X? And why is this super smart creature still super weak? Or why doesn't use the super smart character his immense knowledge to actually install cameras in the ruins, or even bloody install robots to stop the human from even going outside the ruin? Question over question, but no one is ready to answer these. Well, I have another question. Let's say you write a king character in Undertale, and this character is driven to bring monsterkind to the overworld. Why isn't there a more effective school system, or more magic classes, or even science classes? And why isn't the underground more futuristic and have more murderous robots? Or if the knight character's hate for humanity is as big as she claims, since a human killed a loved one or something like that, why isn't the waterfall or Snowdin area not more filled with more traps that even normal civilians have to fear to be blown up into tiny pieces if they take a wrong step, which would result into a fear and hatred for the knight herself in the town she's even living in? And why is the knight still so weak in every storyline? I mean, if they hate humanity so much, wouldn't they train daily, or even force a side character to become their sparring partner, just to train train to be ready for a human attack, this would open so many interesting storylines. Even a side story for the side character who is forced to train with this mad knight. And even a character arc where the knight reflects on their mistakes. But instead we have the fandom headcanon, meaning all of this location are nothing else but a nice looking background. And every side character or background character acts the same. And even when the characters are being swapped, they always act the same as the original character they are based on. And so, the same plotline would be told over and over again. And in the end, it will just be ignored. And the author and the fans just focus on sænz, guest or frisk. And for once I can't blame them, since I'm sick and tired of reading a story where pə-PY-rəs is in the role of sænz and acts just like sænz. Like what the hell? Another writing sin would be following. To write a good world, but to completely ignore to write a well-written character with a good personality, goals, wants and flaws, who can simply and will change the world around him. But nope. 90% of Undertale AU stories have the same location, have the same rule set, and nothing is being developed. Every monster who lives in the world acts the same as if nothing happened. Let's take, for example, Underswap. Underswap just is a reskin of Undertale, even though the world is swapped. Pre-reboot story shift isn't out of the underground, while Kara, a human, walks around and isn't killed by some monster. Why isn't that? Why aren't they chasing Kara 24/7? Or when they have agreement with the king, why aren't there some rebels who act against the king and still chase Kara 24/7? Well, some AU creator did decide to write compelling characters in interesting location, like the creator of Story Shift, who reconsidered the plot of Story Shift and made them rewrite the complete story, which created the reboot of Story Shift. Link to the stories down in the description. And they rewrote the world and the characters. For example, pə-PY-rəs, who took the role of the ruin caretaker and the great prince, became a father of two girls. One named Justine, who got a good heart and got a justice soul, but who has already killed a human on the surface, and teached pə-PY-rəs how to use certain insults. Motivated pə-PY-rəs to start a garden and even helped to build a small town for all the ruin monsters. But later on, she was killed by not sænz, since he doesn't want humans that fell down the underground to be killed, but instead was killed by a cult, which was formed since sænz didn't want to kill humans that were fallen down, resulting that Justine was killed through poison, while pə-PY-rəs' other daughter was mentally unstable. But instead of killing her or be super naive and ignored all the killing that she did, he tried to help her by reading all the books about self-help and tried to confront her, but he couldn't do it since she left the ruins before he could do anything to help her. Since then, he became more cautious and more aware of mental illnesses. And since pə-PY-rəs didn't want to become attached to another human child, he started to work together with the Dreamers to bring any human into safety whenever a new human comes down. Heck, even Kara was helped by the Dreamer family in this reboot, and they have a whole different story since they are hunted by this cult. They need to hide 24/7 and can't even seen in public with her brother Asriel. They can't even live together with Asriel or Toriel and needs to live in a dirty cave. They can't even wear clean clothes or wash themselves since a lot of royal guardsmen are dogs and would immediately smell Kara and would hunt them down. This results into Kara feeling like crap, like they have no home, and even consider suicide on the daily. Like damn, isn't that depressing as well as interesting storytelling instead of just Kara is now in the role of sænz. And Worded Fate even takes this to a new level, where casual haters would see it as an Underswap AU, but it is so much more. The same can be seen with Offtail, a crossover from the famous Off game and Undertale, where the bad from the game Off comes to Undertale and his beliefs are conflicted in this new world. All of these AUs are interesting since they followed Newton's third law. Every action has their own consequences. But that was it for today. If you want to watch more videos on how to make an Undertale AU, please check out my other two videos that are depicted right here. But anyways, I wish you all a bloody good day and I believe in you. So start believing in yourself. Goodbye.